is that we've created a system which is really good at articulating product, price, and promotion. Really good at those three things. Our consumer marketing teams, they're fantastic at telling us how to configure a product, how to promote that, what sort of price point. How many of the marketing teams around the region, globally, do you think are good at articulating place? Almost none. What we've done is we've created a situation where we ask sales teams to make the decisions about what happens at place. We've separated and divorced the process of marketing. We've said consumer marketing is one set of things, and customer marketing is something else. And it's really interesting what happens then, because all of you who've worked in manufacturing, I'm sure, have found that over the last 10, 15 years, the walls between sales and marketing have got bigger and bigger and bigger. And every year somebody says, you know what, we've really got to chip down this wall. We've really got to start communicating better. And every year everybody says, yes, that's absolutely right. And you know what, every year we put another brick on top of the wall. Yeah? So the division of place from marketing gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And what's really interesting is people are starting to think, hang about, that's not right. That can't be right. Because if we're really going to drive consumption, we need to be successful in three different phases. We need great consumer marketers. Are there any consumer marketers in the room? Does that mean no? You're very brave. Thank you for that. We need great consumer marketers. Great consumer marketers create desire to consume our brands. We need great salespeople. Have we got any salespeople in the room? Just two. I don't believe you. How many of you are in sales? Put your hands up if you're in sales, please. That's a lot better. Thank you. This exercise is good for you, trust me. It engages your mind. By putting your hand up, you're engaging your mind, funnily enough. We need great salespeople to motivate customers to support a brand. But the work of those two people, when it gets divorced, when it's separated, starts to break down because we forget that somebody has to buy the product. And that somebody, over the last 10 years, has started to become important to people. People have started to say, wow, you know what? We need to think about the shopper as being part of the process of driving consumption. And it's true, you know. When you start to think about it, you start to think, well, it's all very well having great brand imagery. And I'm thinking of Triumph now because I came in off the expressway yesterday evening. But great brand imagery, fantastic brand imagery. Who buys your products? Sorry? Obviously women. Do they always buy for themselves? They always do. So mums don't buy for their daughters? Of course they do. Okay. When a mum's buying for a daughter, what's she thinking about? Is she thinking about the girl on the expressway? It's a really interesting distinction to make, this distinction between the person who consumes a product and the person who buys the product. Lots of people do not make this distinction. Advertising agencies are the absolute worst at making the distinction. Read all of their literature. The consumer at the point of purchase. So now I'm having an image of this woman's mother taking off her clothes and putting on a bra. It's just not working for me. When people are consuming, they have different drivers of their behavior. They think differently. They think about personal image. They think about aspirations. They think about need states. They think about occasions. They think about the experiences that they're having. And that drives them to want to consume more. But when we're shopping, those things take a different level of focus. And we start to think about practical things. How much time have I got? How much money have I got? How many other things do I need to buy? Where do I need to be next? Can I satisfy the needs of my friends, my family, as well as myself? So as shoppers, we're very different. And if we can create a situation where we motivate consumers to want the brand, shoppers to buy the brand, and customers to support the brand, Together, those things will drive consumption. But in today's business model, that central point there is very rarely considered by the business. And this is where the revolution in shopper marketing is taking place. Suddenly, in the last 4 years, and it literally is the last 4 years, shopper marketing has gone from being something that we do in the corner of an office that might have trade marketing above the door, maybe has sales, to something that in US companies now, in the leading US companies, is almost a board position. It is now considered to be a strategic discipline. Deloitte's found recently that 60% of leading US companies now have shopper marketing departments in excess of 20 people. And that has changed in 4 years. I would suggest that that is the largest single organizational change that those businesses have been through in the last decade. It's a very significant and it's a very swift movement. And at the same time, we have been watching this development with a lot of interest because we're passionate about shoppers, and we've seen the amount of writing on the subject explode. A year ago, when you Googled shopper marketing, you were finding that about 250 people globally were looking at it a month. We looked at that same figure 6 months ago. It was 8,000 people Google it a month. It's now 16,000 people Googling it a month. So it's a huge explosion of interest. But just like category management and trade marketing and consumer and brand marketing before it, lots of people have lots of different opinions about what it is. And there's a very, very, very wise guy working in shopper marketing. He's a guy who works in Arizona. His name is Chris Hoyt. And he thinks about shopper marketing using the following analogy. He says, imagine an elephant, if you will. And around this elephant, there are 4 blind men. One of them is touching the leg. He says, I know exactly what this elephant is. It's a massive, strong pillar standing in the ground. Another one is holding onto the tail. And he's saying, I know exactly what this is. It's a rope that's going to pull me out. Another one is holding onto the ear. He's saying, I have a fantastic fan. And the fourth is holding onto the trunk, and he's saying, I've got a big snake, and I'm a little bit worried. The point is that very few people look at the subject as a whole.